I regret to inform you all, my bracket has officially been busted. I was so close to having a perfect bracket. I may or may not have missed on like the first three, but alas,
Yeah.
here we are. Mr. BMatt, I'm Matthias Wallman. Brian, I don't know how today has gone for you. I've hit some bets. Tailed DeadPresPicks, which you can see their cards all day. I tailed that on the Virginia first half money line, but I guess just to summarize my day so far today, I had a parlay, West Virginia State spread, Virginia money line, and then Utah State money line. So that's about how today has
Yeah.
gone. I hope it's gone a little better for you.
Nah, look, hey man, you and I are in. We're in the same water. I put out a parlay on Twitter. DraftKings gave us a boost, right? So I said, all right, I'm going to put something together. First two games of the day got wrong, so I had Utah State money line. Obviously, that didn't come through. So yeah, I mean, the day didn't start off well. West Virginia didn't close for me either. So
Yeah.
so yeah, luckily I didn't take those as straights. They were parlay pieces, so I don't. It's not as much of a hit. But yeah, I'm watching this San Diego State game. I took them before the game, and now I live bet them as well. I don't know what their points are at, but they were plus 3.5 when I took them. Or
Doubling
pardon me,
down, love it.
minus 1.5 when I took them earlier. So we'll see. We'll see where it ends
Let's
up. I'm hoping. But they always say college basketball, man, betting on kids, right? So here we
yeah.
are.
I mean, real quick before we talk about the games that are coming up, we got to talk about that Furman game. Like, literally, we're just going to talk about the last play. Like, it's again, you got to remember, betting on kids here. Doesn't matter if it's a 50-year senior or what. That's got
Yeah,
to be up there. Like, this is immediately going to become like a top 5, just craziest
yeah,
college basketball moment. Like, just the throwing it away, then the three. Like, as soon as they threw it away, you were like, okay, yeah, this game is over. Like,
yeah.
what is going to happen.
Something's happening. I don't know, man. When he turned into Uncle Rico and threw the basketball, back across the court, like I was sitting there, like, what is he doing? Like, of anything, and then, hey, man, credit to knocking down that big shot. He hadn't been hitting them all game, but yeah, man, that was wild. Once he threw that ball away, you kind of knew something might be coming. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's that there's nothing. I watched that game like there's nothing like March Madness. I love this tournament. Like you watch it and you're just kind of all right. This is why we love it. You don't know who's going to win, who's going to lose, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. And not to flex on everyone, but I did hit that Kansas money line. No big deal. No, they did cover. So I will take that at
Did
least.
you say Kansas? Did you say Kansas money line?
Yeah,
Was it like
doesn't matter if it was like
was it
minus 5,000.
minus 9,000? All right,
It
all right,
doesn't
yeah,
matter. Like, a win is a win,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um,
Bet five to win 12 cents. I like it. I like
yeah.
it.
Hey man, it's 12 cents. 12 more cents than I
Minimize.
had
No,
before.
we're looking at the wrong way. Minimize risk, right? Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
All right, we got a couple games we want to talk about. We already talked about that Illinois Arkansas game when we were on with we beat the spread earlier. Again, plus 1.5 for Illinois. Just real quick, that game's starting in about 15, 20 minutes. So just you leaning either way here?
yeah. I like Arkansas minus 1.5 here. I just
Thank
think
God.
I don't know why you're saying that. Now you're scaring me. But anyway, look, I like them defensively. They struggled out of the gates. They got some key pieces back, so they're a little bit healthier.
Mhm.
And I just think, this is the kind of game that sets up well for them. But, tread lightly here since, I'd have told you West Virginia and Utah State. But these are actually two games that I bet straight. So at least I put a little bit more money on. What
Yeah,
about you?
so here I also like Arkansas. I had the first half under at 66.5. I think this is just going to be an ugly game. I just don't want to get burned by some late free throws. But here's the deal, if we have a losing pick, you should have just taken the other team, and if we have a winning pick, you should have just followed our pick. That's obviously how
Yeah.
this goes, right?
We need to
Okay.
just cover it, right? So someone wins. There's got to be someone
Yeah.
who wins.
Kick back, have fun, and enjoy the day.
Yeah.
Let's get into the games that are coming up though, because we got a ton to preview, and I think we have some good value coming up. First game we're going to get to 6:50 p.m. So we're still 2.5 hours away here from
Yeah.
this window opening up. Auburn 1.5 point favorite against Iowa. SEC Big Ten teams going up against each other. Right now, Iowa is getting 52% of the bets, 56% of the spread. Most people are up on the over at over 153.5. It's about 62% of the bets, 65% of the total money. That Iowa money line at plus 100, 67% of the public, 58% of the total money coming in. You have a lean either way here because it's a pretty tight game.
Yeah, so I went Auburn -1. I just think so. Iowa plays a ton of offense, great team offensively, right? We know that about them. But Auburn plays really good defense, and Iowa doesn't play much defense. So, look, it's a pick 'em for a reason, basically. That's where it's at. But yeah, the two that I played straight, were Auburn and Arkansas. So, hoping the SEC teams can pull through for me today.
Okay, I'm gonna go against you a little bit here.
Hey, that's good. See, we got to make sure someone wins.
Yeah, someone's got to come away a winner.
Yeah.
Big Ten teams are 12-1-1 against the spread against SEC teams in the first half. If I have a pick 'em and I hear that, I'm like, all right, I'm good. Like it's for everything you mentioned. Like it is a pick 'em for a reason. These teams are very evenly matched. Both teams don't give you reason to have much faith at times. Man. I like that's all I need to hear, honestly.
I know. I mean, those make sense, but I realize like I used too much logic. I think making my picks earlier, so I'm just going on. You go with the heart here. I'm going to see how that goes. And
got burned for thinking about it and putting some reasoning into it. I've been there.
Sorry. Now my wife had Furman in her bracket, and she picked him because she liked the name. She texted me she's like, "Oh, look, a picture of it."
Okay.
I go, "What made you pick Furman?" She goes, "I like the name." All right. So
that's all you need.
So just throw logic out the window. But
quite literally flip a coin.
I like those two.
All right, let's get to game number 2. 7:10 p.m. tip off. Duke 5-seeded, Oral Roberts 12-seeded. Still having flashbacks of that 12-5 Oral Roberts upset a couple of years ago. Duke is one of the most bet on teams to not only make it to the Sweet 16, not only make it to the Final Four, but to make it to the championship and even win it as a 5-seed. Interestingly enough, a 5-seed has never won the NCAA tournament, but they do have a tough matchup right now. I mean, Oral Roberts is a very, very experienced team. They could knock off Duke very easily here. In terms of the spread, again, plus 6.5 for Oral Roberts right now. It was 5.5. It's bumped up to 6.5. Oral Roberts getting 52% of the bets, 57% of the spread. Of the handle on the spread, I beg your pardon. 70% of all bets coming in on the over at 142.5. And again, Oral Roberts, who on BetMGM are plus 225 on the money line, 62% of the bets. However, big money is coming in on Duke, 44% of the handle going on Oral Roberts. So again, Duke has that edge. But there are enough people believing in Oral Roberts here. I mean, they're a 30-plus win team. It's for good reason, right?
Yeah, I mean, let's keep it. Remember, Oral Roberts has won 17 games in a row. So, this is a team that knows how to win. I mean, they're they know how to kind of pull out in crunch time. But still, look, I think Josh Howard, the job he's done, Duke, the way they played at the end of the season, I like Duke. I didn't play anything official. If I had a lean, it'd be -6. But I think you said it moved up past that. I saw earlier it was -5.5. But I just think Duke's playing well, and also I have them in a. I've got them in one of those wild, who comes out of each division. So, I'm going to stick with them. I don't know.
I honestly, I prefer Oral Roberts plus 6.5. I just think it's a much older team. They have so much experience and they can get things done offensively. Low key for as good as Duke has been, just the teams they have beaten have not been fantastic. Like the ACC was not what it used to be this year. But again, they have not beaten like a top 30 team in a couple months, although they also have not lost since January. Want to get your thoughts on this next one too. 7:25 tip-off, number 2 Texas, number 15 Colgate. Right now, Colgate plus 13.5. This line opened up at plus 15.5, and we've seen as much movement on some of these lines as any game today. Texas opened again at minus 15.5. It's dropped down 2 points. That is tied for the biggest movement we've seen today, along with Houston, which moved down from, I think, 20.5 to 18.5. The over-under opened up at 146.5. It's up to 150.5 right now. That is some big movement here. Still, regardless, 60% of the money coming in on Texas to cover. 58% of the handle coming in on Colgate, money line, plus 700. Are we seeing something crazy today, or is anything going on?
It started off that way. I mean, the truth is that any of these teams can beat any of the other teams on any given day, right? And it's March Madness, so the games are, but Colgate has a good offense. Like if you watch them, they run offense fairly efficiently. So I don't think Texas is going to lose this game. But I do think it's interesting the movement that it was it opened at plus 17.5 and it's plus 13.5 now.
It was plus 15.5 and now it's plus 13.5.
Okay. All right. So obviously that's a tough one to touch. Texas isn't losing that game, but I mean, all these games, you got good teams that are playing. I mean, so unless, they kind of just come out and go flat, all across the board, it's a lot of points. So again, I don't have that one in my bet slips right now as I was just looking through, but maybe I had some, maybe a parlay piece, who knows?
I prefer to just go a little safer. I'm going to go Colgate plus 7.5 in plus 7 in the first half. I think this is a team, I mean, obviously they can make enough threes to stay in the game. Like Texas probably wins this game. And honestly, they might cover. If this was still 15.5, I'm taking Colgate, even with Timmy Allen coming back after not playing in the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah.
Look, Texas has been really bad though, against the spread. 1-11 in their last 12. Colgate is 1-5 straight up in they're 0-5 straight up in their last 5 tournament games. However, they are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 tournament games. So the recipe is there for Colgate to cover. I don't like that it's gone down 2 points, and Texas is getting one of their better players back. I'm just going to play it a little safer. I'm going Colgate plus 7.5, plus 7 in the first half.
I like that. Hopefully they don't. Yeah, hopefully they won't bust it open. I think that's a good call. Should come out, aggressive, looking to keep it close. With a good game plan. So I like that pick.
All right.
I don't have
one last game.
Yeah, what are we going? As long as it's not UCLA.
One last game. I know I wouldn't even dare asking you. One last game. Boise State, 10 seeded, plus 1.5. Now this line has flipped against number 7 Northwestern, who again is minus 1.5. They opened up as the underdog and are now the favorites in this one. Boise State getting 66% of the amount of money on the spread. That under is at 127.5. 2 very good offenses that sometimes leave a little bit to be desired, though Boise State can shoot it a little bit. 75% of the bets, 87%, I beg your pardon, of the handle coming in on the under at minus 120 or under 127.5. And Boise State getting most of the love on the money line, 62% from the public. But the big money, 35% only coming in on the handle for Boise State. Again, this is kind of a pick 'em. It's flip-flopped. Which way you rocking here?
Yeah, so I'm playing Boise State plus 1.5, and I've also got some personal reasons. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law went to Boise State. We got family that lives out in Boise, so I think they give me a hard time if I put my money on anyone else. But no, I like them. It is a pick. I played plus 1.5, figuring I think they can win that game. I know they can win the game. I don't know if they will. But yeah, I thought plus 1.5. If I think they're going to win, go ahead and take that and don't get greedy.
Yeah, I mean, for what these teams are averaging, I think the number comes out to about 128 per game. And again, the line is at 127.5, right? They do these things on purpose. Both defenses certainly can lock in. This game might be 45-40 at the end of the game. Probably not.
I
think Boise State just being able to hit 1-3 more than Northwestern might end up being the difference. I also like Boise State plus 1.5. I would probably lean the over on that as well. Again, both these teams kind of struggled down the stretch, but even then, Boise State still shot 39% from deep. They're still capable. If you're looking at what they've done recently, not pretty. Boise State over the last 11, 2-8-1 against the spread, and you're like, all right, Northwestern's got to be better. Over the last 5, they're 1-4. So it hasn't exactly been pretty. Should be a rock fight, but I like that we're both on Boise State plus 1.5, unless Northwestern wins, in which case, don't like it as much.
Yeah. Hey, look, we were worried about Killian Hayes the other night, and he came back in and cashed that with what, like 48 seconds? Different sport, but either way, you know. So, yeah, no, that's what I've got, man. At least that's what I'm going with for the afternoon. And then if you hear any picks from me on USC, disregard as far as being factually backed.
That's a little bias.
That's my school, so hey, I'm going to go with them over the Spartans, anyways.
It's a little tough to hear that Killian Hayes thing. Again, Killian Hayes came in, cashed that double for BMatt, but he ended up with 21 points and assists, and I took over 22 and a half. So I'm going to go cry myself to sleep now.
I wouldn't have brought it up. And we thought that was a safer route too. Remember, we're like, all right, you play the safer route, I'll play the. All right, there we go. Yeah.
Just the way it goes sometimes. All right, BMatt, let's let the people get back to it. You got our picks there. Again, the screen is going to be updating for the rest of the day. DeadPresPicks and Krabs best bets. They've missed on a couple of them. And again, if you're a little weary on that Boise State, plus 1.5, DeadPres did take their money line on the ladder. If you've watched any of his ladder picks, that should tell you all you need to know. BMatt, I will talk to you tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll be previewing those games as well.
Appreciate you.